Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, and of course, you saw the title. You probably already think I'm crazy. It doesn't make sense. It's not possible. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. And honestly, you might be right, because it's PSVR2. The thing that's even funnier than just having the idea is the fact that I had this idea before the crazy announcement. I'm redoing this whole video because I had done it beforehand, and then they were like, we're just not making physical games anymore. And I was like, I think I need to redo the video because I gotta talk about that. Plus, I forgot how expensive the PSVR2 was when it first came out. Like, my numbers were way off. I thought it was like $350 when it first came out. That's basically what it is now. It's insane. Like, that junk was insanely expensive. So we're gonna do it real quick. And in all honesty, I'm redoing this video because even now, even with the actual announcement, it's worth adding to the video that I honestly believe it helps a little. I know that sounds ridiculously crazy because I honestly don't think that Sony's gonna backtrack on this, which blows, but that just sucks. That's just where we are right now. But I don't think they're gonna backtrack. And the whole idea behind why I think the PSVR2 actually has the chance to kind of, rise from the ashes, so to speak, is because of all the issues we've had. It's only all the bad stuff that makes it even seem possible to me that PSVR2 could actually do something. Now, the crazy thing is, with this potential all digital future, it kind of adds to the fact that, not that there aren't any physical games for VR, there are, for anyone that didn't realize that, aside from just, Resident Evil. There's the game called The Midnight Walk that had a physical release as well, if I'm not mistaken. But there are physical games that are like, hey, you can use this on VR. There are some that I believe are specifically VR games, and you just buy them physically. But to start from the beginning, for anyone that might not be super familiar with PSVR2, because admittedly, it came out and it died, and it is never to be seen. It was kind of never to be seen again. That's kind of why we are where we are. It came out, it was $500. Oh, and I think $49 or $530, something like that. It cost more than the PlayStation 5. That's what happened when the PSVR2 came out. It was like, you guys want VR? Yeah, sure, it sounds pretty cool. It's an update to PSVR 1. Why not give it a shot? Well, we're gonna make it cost more than the PlayStation 5, and we're also not gonna let it be backwards compatible with literally any PSVR 1 game. I think the fact that it costs more than the console itself was really the #1 killer. But I remember for me just thinking, like, why would anyone even buy it, even with that cost? And then you're telling me, well, you also can't play anything. Like, it's not like there's a billion games, but there's enough to be like, hey, I would have bought this, maybe not at the price it originally came out at, but some people probably would have at least considered it if it was like, hey, what if you get PSVR 2 and then you get those games that were on the first one? Star Wars Squadrons is literally the game I think of where I was like, man, when I eventually got a PSVR 2, because I do have one, I want to say that, when I eventually got mine, that was the one that I was thinking of. Like, God, when that came out, as a giant Star Wars nerd, all I wanted was to be like, let me put this in VR, I'm flying around in an X-Wing. Most of the effing games just use the controller anyway when it comes to the first VR game. And if not, then they use the Move controllers, which actually leads to part 2, which is the Move controllers went from early PlayStation 3, when everybody was like, hey, let's copy Nintendo. Early PS3, we got the Move controllers. I still remember that demo with like the sword and the shield. We got that early demo, and then those continued on all the way until the middle, or basically the end of the PS4, and then eventually that's when they kind of reworked all their data, all their tech and everything, and it was like, hey, we're now moving on to PSVR 2. But those years and years of tech, we got the Move controllers. They could easily do that, especially because they don't give any support to PSVR 2 because it crashed and burned. It's not getting updated. We're not coming out to the overpriced all digital PS6 and then it's like, hey, PSVR 3. That will never happen. No one supported the second one enough for them to bother doing that. So the fact that they're not gonna update it because no one bought it, and the fact that it's already kind of easily digital, you just put it in the USB-C off the front of the console, it's basically plug and play. You gotta charge it, of course, for the controllers, which, that gets on my nerves. But it's already plug and play. It's barely on the physical side. Not that it's not possible, but obviously separate conversation. But you can easily keep it going. Move controllers, like I said, went from PS3 all the way to PS4. They wrapped the tech into, new fancy controllers, but it's all the same technology, just even up-resed. The headset 4K 60, like I doubt we're gonna be jumping, once again, slapping 8K on the box and everything. But you do that and it's like, hey, you just let it go to PS6. It's the easiest thing in the world, honestly. Like, it's plug and play. I highly doubt there's so much work they would have to do, even with the PS6, to be like, oh man, to make it backwards compatible with the PSVR2 would be so hard for us. I highly doubt that. It's plug and play. Like, whatever games work, they work. That's all you got to do. So the fact that it's already dead and gone, the fact that because of that, they're not going to be doing a third one, at least no time soon, because VR just hasn't hit that realm yet, which admittedly is because of price, which obviously is the next part. But because of how everything is kind of falling apart, it can work. It's like the worst possible way to have a good sign is everything crashing and burning. Obviously the tariffs and RAM pricing and just consoles going up, up, and up. It's no longer more than the PlayStation 5. In fact, it even got a price cut. And that was before, everything started happening when consoles got higher in prices. They got a price cut because, of course, nobody was buying it. I got an insane deal on mine, which is why I bought mine. I got mine even cheaper than what the current price actually is. I got an insane deal on mine. So, I'm just saying I was very happy with that. But they need to drop the price. They probably won't do it because it costs them so effing much, especially with, the way times are right now. They're definitely not going to be like, hey, what if we drop price on this? Like I said, it's even crazier, which is why it's worth mentioning. Because it was like, if it was just like, oh, this is super random, super late. We know none of you guys bought this, but also we're not updating the PSVR 2. So here's like a cool price cut. Honestly, if they dropped it down to $250 would be beautiful. But if it dropped down to $300, it might work. It might work. $250, I think, would be like the beautiful spot to be like, okay, $250 for VR, I think is worth it as long as it's good enough. And I personally think the VR2 is actually worth it. But if they dropped it down, again, hit us with another price cut, obviously they'd have to talk about it more. You could kind of do something. It's like, hey, the little peripheral that couldn't, it just might. Especially because we are going into the era. We're in the era of $1,000 consoles. Obviously that's PS Pro, but even the base PS5, if I'm not mistaken, is like $700. I don't even like looking at them anymore, so I'm not like 100% up on it, but I know that effing Pro is $1,000 and I hate it. But with the consoles being so insanely expensive, that peripheral cost, even at the current price of like $350 is what I think it's at, even that is still like, oh, like, it's kind of funny how you stack the numbers together, it starts to feel real simple. But you hit it with another beautiful price cut. If they dropped it to $250, I'm telling you, they'd be sold out instantaneously. Because nobody's buying more consoles. Like, you got a couple people here and there that might just now be getting the PS5 or possibly, the PS5 Pro. Obviously, GTA 6 could be a component, all that jazz. But you kind of put it out there like, hey, you want something to do where you're not getting physical games in, about a year and a half. So that's the bad news. We don't know what, console prices are going to be. Even at the end of this generation, console prices could still rise. So we don't know what that's going to be. We don't know what the next generation is going to be. They're already abandoning VR. So it's like, you might as well just, at the very least, make it backwards compatible and just give it like a slight push. It's horrible to do it now because when I was first thinking of this, it was just like a crazy announcement. Like, hey, we're dropping the price for PSVR 2. At this point, people would just hate them anyway, because I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing that they could probably say that would sound good, and it would be like, so it was like, once again, it was worth redoing after the no physical announcement, even though that's a year and a half out. It's still like where the news is currently, and it was like, maybe in another year, like when we're, like a year out or 6 months or so away from, the 2028 deadline, maybe as a last ditch effort to just get them out the warehouse. It's not like they're making them. Let's be honest. I don't think they've actually made new VR2s for quite a while. Obviously, I'm just talking, but it crashed and burned really hard. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people that like got into like specifically like hardcore gaming and stuff because of the pandemic, and you guys were just like, oh, I didn't even really think about it. I didn't even know they did that. It died so fast, crash and burn. But it could potentially, there is a chance, a speck of hope that it could rise from the ashes and do something cool. And I only want that because why wouldn't I? It's video games. I want everything to succeed. And of course, I love VR. I've been a huge proponent of VR ever since it like first became a thing. It's just the price. It has always been the price. And the fact that like every single time you get VR, it's super exclusive. So that really blows. I hate the fact that like every Star Wars game feels like it's on the effing Meta Quest. Like I want to fight Darth Vader. I want to be Darth Vader, but no, I got to get a Meta Quest for that. So, it of course sucks, exclusivity, all that jazz. But I'm telling you, I know it's crazy. And especially now, the first time I did this video, I ended it saying like, at this point, I might as well talk about it. We might as well hope for something good. And especially now, we might as well hope for something insane, because that would be crazy. I don't think it'll save gaming or do anything, but if it'll at least push VR, I'm happy with that. I got my Resident Evils. I got the couple games I'm looking at, but unfortunately the price has always been the price, and the price has always been ridiculous. And that's what kills it, is they charge too much for it, so developers don't develop for it, because it's like, well, you got like 2 people buying this thing, because like I said initially, you made it cost literally more than the console. It doesn't now, starts to look a little bit prettier. It's like, I forgot what the PlayStation Portal and stuff, it's like a little bit more and you can have straight up VR. So there's hope. I know, like I said, I know it's insane, and it's even crazier now, which is why I literally had to redo the video, because I was like, it was already insane. And then like 2 days after I did that, they were like, yeah, no more consoles. And I was like, I can't even put this video out. Like I can't talk about this without including that now. But even with that, it still works. The media side of it was kind of crazy initially, and now it's just straight up impossible. Like if they said that, I don't even know. I would love to see it just for the insanity of it. Like this is when they decide to drop do a second price drop for PSVR2. I'd love to see it. That would honestly be one of the most hilarious things Sony could possibly do at this point, is to be like, hey guys, we just dropped PSVR2 down to $250. What do you think? What do you think, huh? But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think any of this admittedly is gonna happen. That's why this is pure hope. But it could happen. Like there's potential, especially because of the comparison in prices. But honestly, if they let it drop down, I would honestly say during holiday sales and stuff, look for PSVR2. If you can find it, I got mine for $250. I'll just be upfront. Plus the tax, I forgot what it was, but I got like the crazy deal. And I was like, yeah. Personally speaking, $250 is a beautiful price plus some taxes. That's a beautiful effing price. That's super rare. But I would check. I'd look around if it's possible to find it during the holidays and stuff. I would look into it. But that's just me. I want VR to really succeed. Everyone says like, it's not that it won't do it. It could. It's just that it costs so effing much. At some point, if we get there though, and it doesn't, we're set to jet. And that once again, pure hope at this point. But all the horrible stuff that has happened is exactly what could make it, come back. So it probably won't happen. Most likely won't happen. I know it's absolutely insane. But when you really think about it, it kind of makes sense. Prices have gone up so insanely high that it kind of feels like it's not that crazy anymore. Especially after the price drop, it was technically, less than the console, but they did that too late. It should have come out at the price it came out. They put a peripheral out that costs more than the console. That's just crazy. Like, just realistically thinking about it, it's like, wow, what were you guys even thinking? And it wasn't backwards compatible. Honestly, boom, that was 2 to the head right there. So either way, it is what it is right now. But I wanted to put this out there. Like I said, I had to redo it because now it's an even crazier idea to actually say this. But minute speck of hope, it won't really happen. They're not going to push PSVR2. But at this point, everything is so high in pricing. Give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Help VR survive. Help it, move on to the next console generation. And I hope it is backwards compatible. They're taking away our discs. They better, at the very least, be like, hey, it's already plug and play. Just let the VR go to PS6. And by that point, it should drop down even further in price. But Once again, we'll just have to wait and see how all this pans out, including all the disc stuff. But I would love to know your thoughts. I know this is a crazy one, especially in the times we're in. Like I said, it was before the announcement. I literally did the first version of this video, but I want to know your thoughts. Oddly enough, I had already like edited the video. I was gonna upload it. So I'm keeping that because I already did it. If for whatever reason you want to hear the original version, you can. I'll just throw it as a card up here now. For those of you that are like insanely curious, you can hear me talk about it there. But I know it's crazy, but I want to know what you guys think. Also, if you have VR, what are your thoughts on VR as a whole? I often love it, and I've literally only played Resident Evil 4, but super biased, Resident Evil is genuinely my favorite franchise on the face of the planet. RE4 in VR is absolutely god tier. I was super happy. I haven't even done Village in VR yet, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, like I said, there are games on my wish list, but I've done one full game and had the time of my life. So I'm happy with it. Like I said, I got the god tier deal, but that's just me. What do you guys think? Can it rise from the ashes? Is it dead and gone? Are we just, SOL when it comes to more VR on PlayStation? Please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.